What's up, everybody? Welcome to tonight's episode of Ginger Bros Dent Show. We're your hosts, Brandon Schmitz and Andy Patrick. Got an exciting show once again tonight as we welcome the one and only Mr. Randy Hobson, who not only founded PDR Interviews and has interviewed numerous technicians around, but he's a good friend of ours. He coached me and Andy into actually doing Ginger Bros Dent Show a while back. We're excited to have him on. We get to interview the interviewer himself. So join us live right now as we get to know Randy just a little bit better.
What's up, everybody?
What's up? So, hey, apologizing if I freeze up any because my internet's crap tonight, like mine was last week. So,
yeah,
we already have several people on.
Corey, Alex, Josh, Jeff. What's up, gentlemen? How y'all doing? Who?
So as you can tell, our logo in the beginning, and we got a little logo at the top right here. You see Dent Reaper. So John Vidine reached out and wanted to sponsor us this month. So Dent Reaper, we'll go ahead and let me put this banner up real quick.
Dang.
So definitely the purple perfection glue from Dent Reaper. Me and Amy both been using it. And it's pulling hard, guys. I love it.
And we got a couple guys on here that's won some. And if you guys comment, Alex and Josh, y'all both won some. Y'all comment on here how much you guys like it. With John's wanting to get honest opinions from everybody and make sure I have no problems with it. Like, my only problem is sometimes I can't get the shit off. I'm like, damn, this stomach is holding too good. So I told him that yesterday too. I was like, man, it's holding too good. That's my problem with it.
And you combine it with the Reaper tabs.
Oh, yeah.
Man, they're good. I love the Reaper tabs. Been using them for a while now. But yeah, you can get the Purple Perfection glue and the Reaper rods at dentreaper.com, or of course the glue you can get from Anson, and the Reaper rods, I think A1 tools too. But definitely
go through dentreaper.com.
But go through dentreaper.com.
No, we love all of them, but yeah, that's John's baby. So yeah, try to get it from him if you can.
And of course, y'all,
Alex says Andy's truck slides to the left. Here you go, buddy. I'll just have my truck will be talking the whole episode.
I know you like how he definitely set up his backdrop.
Oh yeah,
I got to hear it run when he pulled it up a little bit earlier.
Yeah, so, I love it. I still smell the fuel. Josh said he's loving the glue. Has a dedicated glue gun for it. Perfect. That's what we like to hear.
Yeah, like any glue, purge your gun of all the old stuff, and once you get the new stuff, whatever it is, and you're trying it out, then it'll really start working. So
I ain't gonna lie, I didn't do that. I went from pink snapper to the purple, and I had no problems.
Yeah, I just do it just to get it out, just so I know for sure that it's specific, specifically that glue that's actually doing the job and not a mixture of anything. So
both our winners love it. Alex said it pulls like a freight train, so perfect.
Corey said it, it's awesome. I know they're using it over there on that little hailstorm.
That little hailstorm.
Just a little, little hailstorm. So we have a Facebook user. Don't know who it is. Remember, guys, we can't see your name on here unless you grant StreamYard permission. So go back into the description and StreamYard.com/Facebook, and it's Tad.
Yeah, of course it is. Jeff, if you'd have ordered anything through Anson last month, you'd have got a free pack of it, just so you know. I can't keep up with the comments. This is crazy.
Yeah, Hudson. So Hudson says takes a while to set up in hot weather. It does, because it's more of a cooler type weather glue, not real hot. The snapper is more for warm weather. So, but in my shop, South Alabama, even in the humidity, stuff like that, it's actually setting up, pulling pretty good. So
yeah,
I haven't had any issues with it.
Like, I ain't got quite the humidity you do, but it's been warm here, and I have no issues. Joe, we love you too, buddy.
All right, so on to what we're actually here for, and since I don't know if anybody noticed.
He's in the back room doing this.
Yeah.
Slow your roll, Randy. Slow your roll.
We We are on episode 30, guys. Can you believe it? Episode 30 already. So it's kind of like a milestone. But we decided we wanted to get.
Oh gosh. Nope, he ain't coming on. Never mind.
No, we're gonna kick him out. So yeah, we decided we want to interview the interviewer himself, the guy who started PDR Interviews, Mr. Randy Hobson. He also coaxed us into him and Kevin Bird into doing an actual podcast himself. So, anyway, without further ado, let's bring on Randy Hobson. What's up, Randy?
Or something. You are the most impatient person I've ever met in my life.
He's sleeping.
Hi guys.
What's up, brother?
I like my hairdo. I grew hair while I was waiting.
Yeah, what happened?
It matches your beard.
My gosh, 6 minutes. My gosh, I'm like, I gotta go pee. You know, I ain't getting any younger.
You could have gone. We'd have just had an empty room.
I did 3 times.
You could have pulled a Kevin Bird and just peed on camera, and you could hear it all. Everybody.
Hey, I wear a diaper these days. I'm good.
Good grief. So how you been, Randy?
Man, I'm doing good. I'm doing really, really good. It's really good to be up here with you guys. And hello, Kevin Bird. And I'm sorry I missed your call today. I have missed a few days.
I wasn't a good friend and called him back yesterday, even though I told him I would.
Did y'all get the text? If you don't answer, that's effed up. That's all you get when you don't answer the phone. Like, wait a minute, what? I'm busy.
I might have got a text today from him after that. I think I did. I just was a little busy today.
Yeah.
I got to wear my wife's glasses. It's the only glasses I have. I kind of I don't want everybody to think I roll like this, but I just they're women's glasses. But if I take them off, I can't see nothing. I can see 2 redheaded sluts. That's all I can see.
Oh,
how do you see that? We got hats on.
Yeah. I don't have red hair anymore.
I don't have any hair.
Fred Delaney. What's up, Fred?
Yeah.
Steven.
Randy. Come on, Fred. You can click that link, buddy. I know you can. I done told you how to.
Hi, Steven. Good to see him.
Rodney's on here.
Hey,
Rodney's asking questions that we're supposed to be asking.
Hey, I tell you what, real quick, let me just start by saying, first and mainly, and I know I'm saying this for you guys too, thank you to all the people that follow PDR Interviews and Ginger Bros. You guys make it for us. We do this for you guys. And it's so much fun to get to know people, and especially in the PDR community, it's really cool. And to you guys, Brandon and Andy, my gosh, thank you guys so much. I was thinking about this earlier today. If you guys wouldn't have came on when you did, Ian needed a break, I needed a break, and we're not gone. We'll be back. Right. My show is a little bit different. I'm going to go back to the way it was when I very first started, but I will just do more one-on-one pre-recorded interviews and just kind of let people see people's shops as I travel around the country. And hopefully and one of my biggest goals is to go to each one of the tool manufacturers and get a little mini, kind of a mini, nickel and dime tour that we can put on tape without showing too much of their private stuff. So I would love to do that so that we can all see really how our tools are made and just something a little bit different. Hear their stories, how they got going, and all that. First and most, thank you guys, and thank to all of our listeners and watchers. They're just awesome. So
definitely, sure. And all our tool makers are great. I'm sure they would let you in with open arms, like Tim Bonney, the Anson crew. All A1 crew, all of them are just great. Can't name all of them, but right. So yeah, that would be really cool to see kind of a little inside of that, because I've always wanted to go. I would love to take a trip, to see all the manufacturers, but I kind of got to push dents to make a living. So,
yeah, no, me too. I'm still trying to figure out the finances of those trips and how that's going to work. So,
yeah.
I don't. All of our fans and everything. Nobody just throws money at us.
No.
Nor does the tool manufacturers. So, we're doing this for you guys, and we got to figure out how we can do this. But I promise it's going to get done.
Well, that's like us being sponsored. People think that we're being given all kinds of stuff and money and all that. No, it's we didn't do this to be sponsored and do what?
I was gonna say that money goes directly back to everybody, like all our swag that we was able to get.
Yeah,
out
but
to
the you know, and it's not much that we charge and all that. So we're
Right.
doing it just to kind of help out and to get the word out. But we're we're not a show about tools. So
yeah.
Yeah.
so anyway,
Okay.
Kevin Bird said the PDR short bus tour.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm on it. I'm on
Me
it.
and him's actually talked about that idea, traveling around. But
Dude, that'd
like I
be
said,
so much fun.
Oh, that's a dream world.
That'd be a blast.
We need
That
one
would
of
be a
those
blast.
party buses, though, is what we need.
Oh,
we know we
God.
really need a short bus.
Yeah, but they make the short bus with the party bus, though.
Yeah, it needs to be
That'd
pimped
be
out
hilarious.
inside, but it still needs to be painted yellow.
So we can start off by getting a quick, synopsis of how you got into PDR, or we can go into how you came up with PDR interviews. What made you want to do that? So.
Well, I'll tell you all real quick. I entered about like most people did. We worked for somebody else. We learned it back in 93 and 93, 94. And, I left that party bus 6 months after getting on it and thought, well, I'll do it myself, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I learned the hard way. I learned the real hard way. There were so many things to learn back then, and there's even more now. And it's just putting it in a nutshell. I don't want to bore everybody because I think we've all been through those stages. That's like blah, blah, blah. I'm like, let's get on some meat and potatoes. Why did we start PDR interviews? I'm gonna be an open book tonight. I'm gonna just tell everybody everything. This will be an R-rated show, by the way, too. So, and not R-rated because it's Randy. It's R-rated because it's gonna make you guys just kind of screw over in your chairs and everything. And it's and if Bonnie from PDR Finesse is watching, she will just think this is funny as all get out. Towards the later of the show, we'll go on later of the show about my health. Okay. So PDR interviews, the reason, really David Haxton, and I was talking and he's like, man, I think you should go around and we should like do some interviews and really put them on tape, on video, because a lot of these guys are going to pass away. Hi, Danny. Anyway, a lot of these guys will pass away and we see it every year. We see people pass away and we never get their stories. And that's a sad thing to know as an industry, people just fall off to the side. So we'd really like to get as many stories as we can. And we would like to start more shows. We'd like to have PDR interviews. The goal of this was to get it up and going and to have, to really go out and seek after the legends, people that left a legacy behind and do their story, or people that are leaving a legacy behind. I don't really, and I come back and forth and we talked about it and, we thought legends, and then it automatically changed to legacies because really that's all we're doing. We're not legends. We're just leaving a legacy behind. Some of the people in the industry are leaving a legacy behind. And the people that's leaving the positive legacies, or creating that positive environment, that's what this is all about. We have enough negativity, and PDR interviews really, we were going to do PDR legends of PDR or PDR legends, and it changed to kind of a legacy. And then right before the Mobile Tech show, about 3 days, I called David X and I said, you know what? I'm going to do something. I'm just going to go out and start interviewing people, and we're going to interview as many as we can, just so that people could get to know people. It didn't have to be anybody that was quote up on top, and or it's about the people that nobody knows things about. Episode 69 is one of my favorite episodes. That's Robert Frank. That was the guy that I bought his business Dent Squad from, which from the best of all of our knowledge is that was the oldest PDR shop retail location. It started in 1989, and it's never moved. It's been in the same location. But I thought that was a really cool interview. It's one of my favorites. I have a lot of favorites. I could go on and on, but before I get into favorites, if that question pops up, I'll say that our industry was in a habit of bashing others. You couldn't turn on Facebook without somebody bashing somebody and people joining in it. People who's never met people and up there typing away the typewriter warriors. Hey, I've done it too. I was talking to Fred Delaney yesterday. We feed on negativity. I don't know why, but we have a tendency to feed on negativity. Everybody does. And it's trying to alter that mentalness. And David Haxton is awesome about breeding optimistic and positivity. And I think it catches on with some people, and we have got that to catch on with everybody. And I tell everybody right now, if you see something negative, stand up. You want to be a warrior for something good. You want to stand up for something that's right. Be positive in there and say, you know what? It's not right to pick on somebody. We were taught this as kids, but we've got people in our industry that just bash the hell out of people. And it really pisses me off. And that's what PDR Interviews was for, so that we could hopefully get to know each other in a different level. So that's why it was started. So I love that question.
Yeah, it's awesome, and I love the positive. I can't even talk. Positivity thing. Yeah, it's there's so much drama out there, but the thing is that the majority of us aren't like that. We're right. Majority of our industry is just great, but all it takes is one.
It does
to kind of spread, it makes cancer and it kind of spreads, and people feed off that. So
it's like an insurance adjuster.
Yeah, they're all cancers.
Right.
I was dealing with them today. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, me too. PDR Interviews, when we started our show, it gave us a good platform to begin with, and it's helped us out tremendously. I don't think we'd be where we was at without the platform of PDR Interviews, which you started. So we greatly appreciate that too.
It's and honestly, it just goes back to everybody that's watching. I remember doing the first interview, and it was at Mobile Tech X. Actually, my first interview was, I had a few of them before, but really before I started PDR Interviews, my first interview was actually with Kevin Halewood. And I thought and he was right next to my condo at Mobile Tech. I was just checking in. Him and Karen was walking in, and I said, "Oh, you guys, you have no idea this is perfect," because Kevin, I want to talk to you. And he came over and we talked for an hour, and I got him, that was where the very first ones came from. And one of the things I loved about the first interviews, and I don't know, it was probably the first 30 or 40, I don't even know, was asking a bunch of guys questions, the same question, but hearing the different responses and how intelligent and articulate the answers were. I'm like, man, I'm a dumbass. I would have never thought of that. The response. We have so much great, smart, talented guys. Joshua Dragos, I don't know how you pronounce your last name, but man, thank you so much. I see your comments all the time. I see it watching these guys, and you've been just awesome over the years. I really appreciate that. So,
yeah, we're going to get him on the show one of these days.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, he was just on another show, and that's the only reason we didn't get him.
Yeah, we try to not have somebody that's just been on a bunch of shows. We try to keep it, space it out a little bit. So, but we will get there for sure. Like, he's been a huge supporter of us, and we appreciate that. So,
mine and Andy's goal on our show was, try to get away from the tool stuff, try to get away from just the PDR part of it, and really dive into who this tech is away from the PDR world. Which every time we say that, they're like, "Is there a life outside of the PDR world?" Well, yeah, we all know there is. Trust me, I think of dents all the time. I dream of fixing dents. Even when I'm struggling with one, that's how I'll fix it and come back the next morning. But when I leave here, Randy, Mandy and the kids, they have us just spread out everywhere. So,
right. Yeah, you guys definitely run.
Yeah.
I don't know how you put all this into schedule. And by the way, thank you so much for that cool, awesome plaque that you guys made. You had everybody sign it. That really blessed just the tar out of me, to be honest. I was expecting a bag of candy, and I totally forgot about the bag of candy, and I'm a little upset that there was no candy in that thing.
Well, it probably would have melted, because we know you like chocolate. So
yeah,
I
like anything.
And speaking of, when Randy was here, and we got a candy jar on the desk over here, Mandy would fill it up, and then it would be like gone the next day. And Randy's like, "Did y'all get any more candy?"
I think Brandon or Fred Delaney was sabotaging.
No. Can't blame us for it. So
Mandy said it's so hot down here would have melted.
Yeah.
Rodney's trying to interview us. We're gonna have to have Rodney interview you too. He's trying to interview himself. Right?
Well, yeah, we'll get to that towards the end there, Rodney.
Yeah, we got you, boo boo. We're gonna take care of it.
Yeah, Fred, he was the candy monster, wasn't he?
Yeah.
The cookie monster, but
he said it wasn't me. But no, that's what we're talking about our show. Like, it is, and that's what I've always said. Like, we get people on here on a personal level So that helps them. I feel like that helps them integrate with other people in the industry too. And that kind of kills maybe some of that negativity when you get to actually meet somebody outside of PDR and what they're about and stuff. I think that helps out a lot.
Yeah. So you guys know now, I mean, as you're interviewing people, sometimes it's not easy. I mean,
it's not,
so,
you know,
and it's not easy for the person being interviewed. I know Fred last week. I mean,
he did not want to come on.
That's why I popped this comment up.
He did not want to come on. I'm so glad Amanda twisted his arm too.
He did good.
He did good. You know, he didn't. You could tell Fred's just that person that does not like to be in the spotlight.
Yes,
and that's why it's always a.
He says nope.
And you know how it is in life. It's always good to kind of break out of your shell. I mean, you've always got to push yourself. So with him coming on, I mean, I'm so thankful he did. I'm thankful that he broke out of his shell a little bit. And, you know, it's just like the first time we were ever on camera and stuff, or doing a live video of yourself on Facebook. If you never do that, the first time you do it, oh my gosh, you're so nervous. You're just, you're like, oh my, that turned out like crap, you know? And Don Cavanaugh had told me years ago, and he's like, you know, just keep doing it. It'll get easier. It'll let people, you know, really get a feel. So when they see you in person, they already kind of know how you are and the type of person you are, especially customers. Like, just putting yourself out there, it gets easier.
It does. You know, I know Fred would say this because he's expressed this to me, but I think one thing I've always done, and I work a lot with Ryan Geisenhagen. I think he's watching tonight. I'm not sure, but and Fred, I really push people to do stuff that they're not comfortable with. So don't ever have me work with you if don't want to be pushed outside the box, because I don't want to come and move mud. You know, I want to move forward, and I think all of us have to do stuff that's outside of our box. I mean, you're a dent guy, but if you're really truly an entrepreneur, you're truly running your own business, you better try to be the best that you can be in every situation. Yeah. So, and that's just by pushing yourself outside of the box. So, you know, right, just the video stuff, you know, live things, you know, knocking on doors, you know, getting ready to you're going into boxing ring. You understand you're going to get the tar beat out of you. You know, there's a lot of competition out here. You got to think about what's going to make you different. What can you do to be different? So,
right.
Yeah. I see you both giggling, so I don't know. There must be
no. We're not putting up. Oh, there you go.
How did Lisa something?
Hey, you don't want
to. I want to see it. Go ahead and put it up. I told you I'm an open book.
We don't know who this is. I don't even know who it is.
How did Lisa react when you told her you were a gay pole dancer? She didn't mind. No, I just had to do a few moves for her around the bedroom, and she was like, "Hey, that's pretty cool." So she understands what I get. What was that last one?
James Menard said you got him on Ian's show. That was cool.
Yep, yep, that was pretty cool.
And Isaac said you preaching.
You preaching.
Amen. Hey, by the way, talking about preaching, Skip Phipps' birthday is today. Please, guys, reach out to him. That guy comes every single week. Sometimes he only has 3 or 4 listeners. Sometimes there's 15 or 20. But I know people are fed by his positive words. Sometimes he preaches from the word. Sometimes it's positive word. You know, that was happening. This all started because of COVID, and just for kind of the Christian believers and people that just needed a little bit more positivity in their life. He does it every Sunday. He's always putting something on. Make sure you say happy birthday to him. If you want to see what it looks like to get old, besides me, look at him. I put him before.
Go look at the picture.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That's awesome.
So for all you young studs out there that look good and everything, you got the bods and all that, 49 years, 50 years, 55 right here, it all changes. Unless you're David Haxton, he still looks like a stud.
It's got to be the hair.
It's definitely the hair. Oh, boy. Put all 4 of us on the screen together, we'll have a...
Oh, I know. You have to put sunglasses on.
That screen would break down.
Whoever the Facebook user is, you've just got to go click the link in the description and let them... it'll grant permission for us to see it.
Somebody's asking for funny story. Ryan's asked for a funny story off the Hell Trail that you could tell.
Funny story off the Hill Trail I could tell. Man, there's so many of them. You'd have to ask. Well, I'd say ask Fred Delaney, but honestly, I'll tell you right now that both of our memories are shot. A funny story. I actually thought of something funny earlier, but I'm brain dead right now. We may have to come back to that one.
Okay. You came to Mobile, Alabama, and met Brandon Schmitz, is what it is. That's the funniest thing. Yeah.
That was an honor. That was all.
That wasn't an honor. That was an honor for me to have you down here, but
that was a rough storm.
Yeah, Brandon sent me pictures of that. I was like, yeah, I might come down and help you out. And I seen pictures like, or not. He said, what memory?
Yeah, what memory? Well, I'm trying to think of a good, funny story. Here, I've got a great one. A lot of guys know Chalice Mills, Brian Mills. They were working with us. Man, where was? Oh, it was up in Bismarck, North Dakota. This was a great. Oh my gosh, you work with those guys. You work with Brian Mills. You laugh all the time. I mean, he's hilarious. Well, I tell you two stories about Brian Mills. The first one, when I first met him, we were working with Rob McDowell and a bunch of guys in Indianapolis, and Brian would always come up and he's like, "Boo!" It's scary. You're up there pushing, and you think you're going to push that tip to the roof when he scares you. And one time he comes up and he shorts me. And I was like, don't be doing that stuff. So a couple of days later, and I see him up to work, and I sneak up behind him, and I shorts him. Woo, was I surprised. That was a big old move there.
Commando.
I got it all.
Oh, Lord.
Another time working with those guys, and they were so much fun to work with, too. I have fun with all the guys, but a great one that we did on my stepson, Greg, Lisa's son, Greg, who had, I'll be honest, he fought drugs. He's been clean for 2.5 years. He found out he's got a little boy that's 4 years old. He gets custody of him, I think, May 21st this month. And his life's totally changed over. And any of you guys that are watching this, if you're fighting any kind of drug abuse or alcohol abuse, man, just I know you're doing your best, but all I can say is there is hope and you can't stop. And if you ever want to talk to me, I'm an open book, like I said earlier, but I would love to talk to you and hope, if I can lead you to the right direction, I will. We know some good programs. We've been through all that. Anyway, Greg was working for us, to get off that part of it. Greg was working for us doing R&I, and Chalice and Brian, those little snots, man, they got some great jokes up their sleeve. But if you're bringing them on a storm, you better be ready just to laugh your butt off. But anyway, they take a screw and they cut off the head of it. And they put the thing on top of right where you put the sunroof together, or your sun visors. This was on the Ford Raptor, black Ford Raptor, and they go up there and we put a screw right up there. And Greg sits there and goes, and let me get that off there. Greg goes up there and he screws it up and everything. And somebody noticed it to him. They called me over, and I had to act the part. And I'm like, "What? You got to be kidding!" This is my stepson, and I'm hollering, and he's like, "I ain't falling for it. He gets up there, and you see him just kind of come up, and there's a video floating around somewhere. He comes up, pulls himself up, looks at the truck, and he goes,
"That's awesome."
I think I've seen him post a video of that before. Doing that.
Oh my gosh, it was hilarious. So
there's been a rock star.
Mr. Biggs, hello, Mr. Biggs. Thank you, sir. Just so many. Kevin Bird's right. Prepare yourself to work with those guys. any of those guys, and they're they're great technicians too. And R&I just out of this world.
I met Brian at MTE. He made a topper for the T-Stack, so I got that from him before MTE. Then we actually met at MTE and had a great chat. And he's a great dude. I want to meet Chalice too. I've talked to him a little bit online, but we haven't actually met in person. So I heard nothing but great things about both of them.
So many great things. I'm going to touch base real quick. I know I'm talking a lot, you guys. I'm not going to give you too much time.
That's all
You're
about
supposed to be interviewing me and asking questions. You ain't doing so good.
Well, we're gonna have to get Rodney on here, I guess.
Let me hit the mute button. Hang on.
Talk about some of the just really interviews that stand out to me. It was a 2-part deal, and I don't want to set anybody out. We've had great interviews, and it's been great to get to know people. But some ones that touch me. One was the DentCraft story. I loved it. It was a two-part story. We heard the whole past of Dent Squad and heard about Sid's passing the Dent Squad family is very, very neat people.
DentCraft.
And yes. Did I say DentCraft?
No, you said Dent Squad.
Oh, Dent Squad's even
You're
awesome.
back on yourself.
We got to talk about Dent Squad. Sorry.
Dent Patrol.
We'll talk about that here in a second. The DentCraft team, that family, they're truly a family. The story's amazing. If you guys haven't seen that, I've shared it a few times.
Yes, I've seen it.
It's just really cool. Rick Hummert's a very good friend of mine, of course, too. I love his story. He was the first one hired on for Dent Wizard, the first employee that they hired. They hired the first 6 guys, I think, or 8 guys, but that's how it all built. And it got a lot of that story from him. And he's just an outstanding guy. I like that story. I'm trying to think of some of these other stories, the Ferd story. I think that was pretty cool. There's just so many. There's too many that I couldn't even mention. I'd have to look back and go, oh my gosh, yeah, that was a great one, and this was a great one. It's
hard to pick a favorite. Yeah,
it is.
It really is.
Then you got terrible ones like me. When you interviewed me at the Nashville meetup, I was like, like you asked all the hard shit. I was like, I don't know. That's why ain't nobody seen that shit.
Look, I was so bad he didn't even put me on Facebook.
Me neither.
I went in there with Corey and Brittany Pope, and they did theirs. Brittany was like a natural on it.
Oh,
Corey was a little bit nervous, and I'm like, what do I do with my hands?
Right.
I couldn't even get people's names right.
Mine was about the same way. It was just like the questions he asked. I was like, damn, I did not expect this. Like I was thinking some softballs. No, they were all fastballs.
It's fun to ask people questions and get the response, to watch their reaction. Because that's what, if you're going to do something live, even if it's pre-recorded, you see that delay and you're like, oh gosh, what's he going to say? What's he or she going to say? And I think that's one of the cool things about doing live stuff is you can ask those questions and just watch people's reaction. That it's not rehearsed.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I like the live stuff. I like the live stuff better just because you get a more personable, like you say, answers and stuff like that. Just you're not editing anything out. So
I like the live stuff just simply for the interaction from all our viewers and stuff. That makes it way easier to do, because we're getting some great interaction from some people watching. I love it.
Yeah, you don't have to go back and actually comment back on their comments.
Yeah,
put them up on the screen and just answer it.
Boom, we're done.
I like the live, but what I don't like about it is we do these hour broadcasts and we lose so many people, and they want to come back and watch it, but look, it's hard to sit and watch a show for an hour. I'll tell you what, unless it's Christmas and we're giving away a bunch of free stuff because
people watch all day.
Tool manufacturers are so awesome.
Right.
Well, that's what's good about, once this is done, I just download the recorded version of this and put it on Apple. I go back and listen to them all the time because even just doing the interviews, the live stuff, I miss stuff that was said.
It's hard to ask a question. I don't know about you guys, but it's hard to ask a question and listen to the response when you have to have the next question ready.
I know.
Yeah.
You go to ask the next question and you're like, what did he just say?
Nobody realizes it until you start doing a show that you miss a lot during a show.
Oh, for sure.
Even as the host, that's why I go back and listen to them.
Yeah.
Oh, Kevin's being sweet. You guys are all amazing people to the industry, your family and your friends.
Yeah.
We love you too, brother.
We love
Absolutely.
you, buddy.
I tell you what, I couldn't, it's such a cool industry. And it's just a really cool industry. All right. Ask me some questions.
All right. Let's go back and find Rodney's shit.
What year did you lose your hair?
I just started. I actually do grow hair. I'm not bald. I'd just be like Donald Trump if I let it out. I have to do comb overs or something. I just started shaving it maybe 2 years ago, hanging out with Fred. And you're laughing about something because something popped up, Randy?
No, I'm not. I'm just
improving. What are your plans for the future? Shut up, Rodney.
Dang, Ronnie. See, I went back to get your questions in. He's going to tell you to shut up. I can't help that part.
Rodney's a very close friend, so
we love Rodney.
I don't want anybody to think that I'm being rude.
Well, honestly,
like
and we'll get into the health stuff later, but I thought you were kind of pretty much retiring out of it, and I think you felt that way, but I think now you're kind of easing back into it, just in a different.
So that's a
light.
Listen. So there's a few things that's happened to me. And I mean, we're 35 minutes into the show, although you guys only gave me about 20 since you had such a long intro.
Come on now. we gotta give
I know. I guess
if
I had paid some money to you, you guys probably would have put me up front, but I know.
Hey, James Ritchie went an hour and 42 minutes. Come on, we can beat that.
Right.
So, what am I doing?
No,
that's the question. What I want to do when I grow up. That's sometimes I ask myself that a lot. This has been a tough year. So 2 years ago, I did buy Dent Squad, and in September, I got extremely sick, and they really didn't know what it was. I had a enlarged prostate. I couldn't sit down. Matter of fact, I told you it's going to be all right if you guys are ready for this, but I'm an open book. I can't sit down for too long. I can sit on one of these things.
You gotta have a donut
like that. You wear these things outside and it tans your head, burns your head. But anyway, yeah, I'm having some health issues for sure. It started probably late August into September, and it all started with a large prostate. It was my fifth one in about 5 years. Or actually it was 4, and then it did get better and started going away right at Christmas, and I was like, yes, finally. Then it came right back with vengeance, and had surgery February 17th. I've been extremely sick. I don't know how else to explain it. I lost a lot of weight, but I gained it all right back. Honey buns.
Candy.
Imagine that.
Found the candy jar again. You good?
Yeah, I found the candy jar. That's
let me stop you for just a second, because everybody that is watching, especially us guys, this is something that's going to affect most of us at some point. So you may want to listen to this. And I'm glad you're talking about it, Nat, because we really do need to. I
think most men don't want to talk about it because prostates are the number one. I guess it's I still don't understand how it works down there. The Mr. Peter and the balls and the prostate and all that. All I know is it used to work fantastic, and now I'm getting older. I'm having more and more issues.
Yeah,
What used to be huge is just a little buddy.
Oh God.
That was when it was full up.
We went from 20 to 2 viewers. What the hell?
We lost all the ladies.
Finger away.
So anyway, so you had surgery.
So So the prostate will cause you problems somewhere down the line. 75% of men have prostate issues. It could just be enlargement. Mine got infected. Mine got a very, very rare infection. I'm still fighting it. And it's just going to have to take time. They're saying it could take 6 months to a year to even get completely rid of it. I did have to have a surgery on February 17th, and too much information. Wait for this one, buddy. Who said that one?
That was David White.
Oh, yeah, David White.
David White. Hold on to your seat, David. I told you it's going to get R-rated. So, I've had colonoscopies and all that good stuff. And the colonoscopies is a cakewalk. If you guys need to get that, don't worry about that. I think it is important to talk about this because the very first interview was me getting stem cells in my shoulder. And you can go back and watch that. A lot of guys have shoulder issues. I instead of taking the surgery route, I took the stem cell route, and it did fantastic for me. I did them in my shoulder and in my knee. And that's where they take plasma out of your spinal cord. They take a needle and poke it through your bone. It wasn't as bad as it sounded, but it was over in a day. But I'm not gonna lie, it hurt a lot. I don't like shots though, so I'm kind of I'm not one of these dudes that can take pain very well. I mean, a shot almost makes me pass out. So, but anyway, to go on forward, the shoulders and everything, that's kind of a big issue. Prostate, is just going to happen as you grow older to 75% of us. And it could be enlarged prostate. It could be, there's all kinds of cancer. I've heard everything where guys have to have prostates removed. Luckily, I haven't had to do that. And they have them removed, and they can't have sex unless they get a little pumper thumper put in and pump that baby up so they can satisfy their wife or girlfriends or whoever. I didn't have to go that route at this point. I have been, I do have cancer. I do have prostate cancer, and it's a slow growing cancer. I'm going to have it for a long time. But the surgery, I'll tell you what I had to do. And I wish I'd never known this. So I'm just going to tell you guys so that if this ever happens to you, you can freak out about it, because it's something to freak out about. It's the hardest thing I ever went through. I don't know, and if somebody knows, they can explain it to everybody. Your urine tube, your urinary tract, your prostate is the size of a walnut, and it's down behind your junk. And I guess the urinary tube either goes right next to it, or there's actually a cave that it actually goes through. I don't exactly know how that works, but they had to go in mine, and they had to actually go in and shave it down with a high wire. And what they do is they had to take your urinary tract, and they actually slice your penis open on the inside to make the urinary tract a lot larger. Then they take a hot wire and they stick it down there. You're asleep during all this. Don't like I said, I'm a wimp. And but I didn't know that's what was happening, and I'm glad I didn't ask. But to go in there, they shave it down with a hot wire, and then they stick a really large catheter down in you, the largest one possible, and that stays in you for a while. And then they flush you out with this liquid, and it flushes all this out. So you guys got really quiet. I would too. I'm through it.
I'm just talking.
Yeah, we're just talking. Yeah, listening to you.
Yeah, it was miserable, and I'll tell you that they pulled the catheter out, and if you guys ever have to go through this, they'll ask you if you want to remove your catheter or if you want to go home with it. Go home with it. Don't have to pull it out. I was afraid to walk. I was afraid, like I said, I'm a wuss. They pulled that sucker out, and this is a big catheter. And I've had a catheter before, but this thing here was the absolute worst of the worst. Good, David. This was the worst of the worst, and they pulled it out, and I couldn't go pee. I couldn't take a leak. Well, they don't let you out of the hospital until you can take a leak, and they just kept telling me to walk and drink water and drink water and drink water. And I just turned into a big balloon down there, and it got to be 6-7 hours of drinking and walking, and I couldn't do anything. And my wife's just like, just pee. I'm like, I can't. There's nothing I can do. So it does something to the muscles inside there when they get surgery. If you guys ever have to, anybody ever has to do that, leave that catheter in. Go home with it. You'll get used to it. I mean, not used to it. You'll never get used to it, but leave that sucker in. Don't do what I did and had it taken out, because guess what? Now I'm all swelled up from surgery and everything else, and my bladder's full, and they got to come in there, and I'm not kidding around. They grab that and they rotor that thing in, and I'm screaming so loud I pulled both muscles in my neck. So my wife at that point, she realized how bad that was, and I don't know why they don't. And this is another thing too. I've learned so much about all this. We think we deal with insurance companies. We think we deal with. That we've got, that we argue back and forth with them, but they should have put me out. They should put that person should have to go through. That was just torment. That was torture. Yeah. And anyway, so I got that put in. They kept me another night, and then I said, leave it in. I said, just leave it in. So I had it in until Monday or Tuesday, and then I went to my doctor, and I had him take it out. And when they do that, it's a smaller catheter. That's the only good thing. And that was not an issue coming back out like the first one was. And within 2 hours, I was urinating again. So I guess my biggest advice is, definitely leave it in.
Leave it in, let all the swelling and everything finally kind of subside, and to where you can.
I told you guys it's going to be R-rated. Here's where it really gets tough.
Uh-oh.
Somebody was coming.
There you are.
Here's where it gets tough. So when it gets really hard, and I mean hard, imagine getting a hard on while you have a catheter in you. That's hard. 3 times, not once, but 3 times. Okay. So it wasn't any fun, but
yeah,
they give you plenty of cord. I don't need much, but they give you plenty. So I told you guys I was getting R-rated, and I know this is
Hey,
probably.
does anybody want to hear my truck run? I can go start it up real quick.
Well, that was like I had two hernia repairs within a year, and in the groin area, and each one was different on the recovery part of it. I remember the first time. I mean, it's an outpatient surgery. I get home. And you got to go pee.
Yeah.
You got to do stuff like that. And everything, like, I had to stay hunched over, and it took everything I could get out of bed to walk to the toilet. Every step felt like somebody, and I told people, it was like a bowling ball with razor blades trying to pull it through my penis.
It's terrible.
It hurts. Yeah. So, I mean, and it was pretty rough. I've gone through several surgeries, but that right there was bad.
I gotta go back to Roddy's comment. Roddy said, "You're a big sissy and afraid of snakes." Hey, don't hate on the afraid of snakes. Like I had one in here a couple of weeks ago, and it was it was about the end of the show for me. I was about to just go home and let the snake have it.
He also said,
"There's some funny stories in that because he's the biggest pansy when it comes to snakes. I'm right next to him, but he's bigger than
I had to get my wife to come get him. She'll grab him up. She don't care. I'm like, no thanks. I choose life.
David Walker.
This is a lot of penis talk.
And
we're just getting started. Here we go.
So, hey, real quick, let's touch base on. I think I talked to both of you guys about this. The Christmas bash. Did I talk to one of you guys about this?
I think you talked to me. You're going to do it again, aren't you?
I think all of us are going to do it. We're going to make a big deal about it. Another big deal.
I'm ready to go. Yeah,
I think we're going to do it. So you guys are just hearing live. I don't know how many people are watching. One, Fred Delaney, Rodney.
15 right now. We had 25. But...
So, in other words, the reason we waited for this news is to make it better opportunity for everybody. It's going to be better if they don't hear that we're going to do it and they forget about it.
We waited till now because the true fans are still here.
The true fans are still with them. But yeah, I'm planning, and we're going to head up another Christmas bash this year, and we're going to start reaching out to all the tool vendors and all that. Another thing too, and if there's any tool vendors watching, or if you guys can share this with them, if you guys hear any comments, we don't allow tool advertising, and we get them every week from somebody. And it's not anything to be rude, but PDR Interviews is about the technicians and the companies. It's about us as individuals. And there's plenty of tool companies. There's plenty of tool reviews. And they have, all the tool manufacturers have a lot larger audience than what we have. And I've really, we've all talked about it, and we've stayed focused on keeping this about the technicians. So, no offense to anybody, but we just have stayed away from doing,
allowing posts and all that through PDR interviews. Yeah.
Because there's so many people coming from overseas too. The overseas people are bombarding us. And it's just like delete.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think in their defense, they're just trying to, they're trying to hit all the groups with the post to get it over with, and they're just PDR searching that and just hitting it. So in their defense, but we want to keep this about technicians. I fully agree.
Yeah. So I saw David Walker there. David Walker's awesome too. And Ryan Geisen had asked something. I don't know if we've answered these questions that came in. The people are asking some great questions. You two are kind of bad at this. I thought
somebody won't shut up for us to ask. Talking about penises and shit. We ain't got no time to ask no questions.
Reminds me of Varsity Blues.
Rodney
Anyway.
had asked something about, what are you doing, this and that, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? So I was, because of all these issues, first of all, I sold Dent Squad, and I sold it to my son-in-law, Adam Fountain. He's taken over it. He's doing very, very well with it. I still had DentTrust USA. Really looking in the future, I've only worked for one company my entire adult life. And I mean, probably from about 16 till 55, I worked for one company.
That's impressive.
And that's the only thing I've done. Other than that, I've always been self-employed. And if I was ever to get out of this, that'd be the only company I'd ever work for. I would say, I think I could say that. I don't know. But right now, I think my job is, first of all, when I got sick, something else happened in November, and I moved wrong in bed, and I found out that I have a number 3 in my neck is bulged, and then 5, 6, and 7 were herniated. And the doctors was warning me for the last couple of years, you need to quit pushing. We get in all these awkward positions, and your heads get upside down and all that, and you do that for almost 30 years. There's wear and tear on our bodies, and it's going to happen to everybody out there. That's kind of why I put the shoulder thing and the knee thing with doing stem cells, because it's a faster repair if you're eligible for it. But with my neck, there was nothing else I can do about it, and that really did push me out. So at that point, and with being sick, that's why I sold Dent Squad, and I sold every one of my tools except for my light to do estimating, my iPad to do software on, my scanner to make sure that I can scan at all the storms that I'm at. Things just to run and manage storms and help direct storms. So my goal is really just to work with anybody that needs help. I can work with them for a week or 2 weeks. I'm actually working with a company right now that I just made a cool little 1-minute video they're going to put on for a Facebook ad for their area. And I made up a flyer for them. I'm going to go door to door in the business areas, and just kind of let them know we're here.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of stuff that I bring in, plus years and years of experience, just try to help other technicians get through that hump of the storm. And as soon as they're through it, I'm the first one to back out. I'm the first one to say, hey, as long as you got everything controlled, I'm good. I'll move on.
And I'm a testament to that, because I was, I didn't know where to start with managing, multiple locations, really everything to it. And that's why I was so glad to get you down here. And I learned, even Mandy learned so much from you.
Well, that's what me and Randy had a conversation too about. Like, if I got a hailstorm, I would like to have him here to kind of train me and Amanda, because I ain't gonna have time to kind of work her through it, because she's not done this. I've only done one storm, so it'd be great to have somebody as patient as Randy and knowledgeable as Randy to kind of guide us.
As long as you got a big ass candy jar, you got him.
Oh, we got Costco and get the damn biggest candy jar they got.
And a dog and a water hose.
I'm working with a young man right now, and we've, Fred and I actually trained him. He's very, very quiet. He's one of the best guys. Brandon, you know him.
Oh yeah.
Ryan Geisenhagen. He's just a great young man. And he's, I don't know if I saw his name pop up earlier. I don't know if he's still watching, but he's a little quieter, and he doesn't, we're all different. What he does, I can't do. He can sit down and work all day long. And I like to talk. I know you guys don't realize that, but I enjoy talking.
Never would have thought it.
Getting along with people, or arguing with an adjuster. I don't have an issue with that. I don't mind sitting down with that dealership principal and saying, no, we're not going to do it for that. Or, to really hold our guns. And I lose some deals, but I win more than I lose.
Yeah.
And I like doing that with guys who have accounts, but they know they're getting walked on. And sometimes it's just good to bring somebody that has experience in to help you get through that first hump. And that could be 6 weeks, it could be 8 weeks, it could be 2 weeks. And, just if anybody's asking or wanting to know percentages, I charge a very low percentage to come in there and do it. And you said much is low. It depends on how many accounts there are, how many stores there are, but it typically goes between 7 and 15%. So just
and here's how I've explained it, of course, to Mandy, which she agreed. But anybody else has asked, I'm like, look, it's like paying for a college education, because I paid
The
you
knowledge you get.
the knowledge I got from you being in here for several weeks was well worth it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Thank
well
you.
worth it.
Oh,
And
Brandon did nothing but sing your praises, the whole time he was there after he was gone and stuff.
Yeah.
He was very thankful for you. I could tell you firsthand on that. So,
I mean, taught me so much as far as, I'm not going to go into everything, but, talking with another buddy that got hit with a hailstorm and just kind of him calling me for advice because I just went through this and just trying to give him tips and tricks that you gave me
Right.
that he's not doing. And I'm like, you need to be doing this because it'll save you in the end. But
I think the storm management training is definitely a must. I agree. And I've thought about having some classes like that. We have classes on a lot of things, but and there's some brilliant guys out here that just do some amazing things running storms.
yeah.
And I've had the opportunity to work with them. And you don't, man, I tell you what, people are afraid to bring other people in because the fear that they're going to look bad because they're not as smart as that guy. You can't have that mentality. You want to bring in the best that you can bring in, because let me tell you what, the only reason I'm who I am today is because I've circled people, so great people around me that I've learned from. And I think our whole team, everybody learns, we all learn. You've got to you have to be an open book, in order to give information to help people and definitely to receive it. So
Mandy said you didn't come in and take over. You taught them what to do. So
good.
It wasn't like you just fully took it over.
Well, most of the time I take over.
Well, that depends on whoever, you're in there to help. I mean, if they can't do it and you can see they can't do it, you might as well,
And that's why I'd like to have you down for a storm. Like, I'd like to get a storm first, obviously, but just because this is my first year in my retail shop, I've always had my body shops to depend on for, stuff like that. So I wouldn't have a clue right now on a hailstorm. So to have that knowledge would be worth every cent, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I think you hear so many stories, and I did before I had this big hailstorm and stuff. You hear a lot of the horror stories of techs not being paid and the people who are running this storm, and and you hear more of that than the good stuff, unless you're out there chasing all the time. But being able to talk with you, and you were like, look, I'm here if you need me to come down there. Or if you just need to talk with me over the phone, or I'm like, no, I want you here. I want to learn, because I'm one of those. If you're showing me firsthand, I'm going to pick it up.
I'm same way, hands on.
Me just trying to go over the phone, it's hard.
Right.
You showed me just like you did. I'm doing it. You're telling me how to do it. I'll pick it up. And Mandy's the same way. So
I think you guys were very organized. Actually, I think you guys had a lot of it under control. I think
my wife is.
I think when you guys, she is. Mandy was excellent. I think when you guys have a large storm hit your area, you guys had a significant storm, but it was an hour away. Yeah. And you guys were getting the residue from that. When that storm hits your community, that's when you really need me. Oh, yeah. I didn't feel like I brought some information for you and things, but I don't think you saw any of what I really can help you with. I think that storm, once it hits over the top of you, that's when you need to pull in the best of the best, because if you don't have those first 2 weeks set up, you're screwed.
Yeah.
It just will never run right. So
right.
The biggest thing is processes. You got to have your processes, and your team has to know your processes. That's why when I go to storms, I bring guys like Fred Delaney and Rodney, even Ryan, Geisen, these guys who are used to working with us, that know our processes, because I can't do it all by myself.
Yeah.
And there's just no way. Nobody can do big storms by themselves. Nobody can run it. And one thing I think the industry needs to know and understand is that the technicians, everybody wants that 50% of the ticket, 50% of the ticket. I know some people are out there saying 50, you need 70. Well, if you're working for somebody and they're giving a 30 split and you're getting 70%, you're now making 49%. People don't seem to understand that. But everybody's got to get a piece of the pie. I've done this for almost 30 years, and I've got to get a piece of the pie, because I'm going to try to make that team run smoother. And so many people, you hear it all the time. I read comments all the time. about how, this storm was run terrible and this and that. It's hard to run storms. It's hard to be up front and negotiating with the adjusters and over the phone. And when they come there and they beat you up and, the people, you got to explain to the people. And, really one of the biggest processes, the first thing is you have to educate your customer. We could get on this. We could talk about all this. This would be a different hail management thing. But there is processes of everything that we do, no matter if it's fixing a hail car or fixing a door ding, you all have a process. And you got process when that customer walks in to the time he leaves. Yep. And if you're using Mobile Tech RX and if you're not using the alert button, you're screwing up. You guys should maximize that. That's one of the best tools out there.
Yep. So the what button?
The alert
button, alerts.
Where you can automatically send the customers a text. Like if somebody comes in for an estimate, send them. You can email it to them. You can print it out and email it to them. Well, 30 minutes later, say, Mr. Smith, thank you for coming in. Where it automatically sends it up to you. You can have it all set up. And it's just automatically do it. And the 30 minutes later, after you leave, they get a little text. Thanks for coming in. They didn't commit. Hey, thank you for coming in. If I can help you, it's automatic. You don't do it. You can set it up in the back office.
Right.
And I'm talking about Mobile Tech RX right now. So
yeah, that's kind of like the CRM system I got where everything's automated on it. So I don't use Mobile Tech RXs, but
a storm management training seminar type deal, even at MTE, I think would be a great topic and a great little thing. So let's move on to
okay.
I want to get into the Augusta stuff, the winery stuff, and what that right there. I think is awesome, and I really want to come up there and visit and go there because that place it's just amazing.
So, what are you going to say, Andy?
I'm kind of curious about Jack's question too. Like real quick before we hop on the winery, where does that when it's sends from Mobile Tech RX, where does it show it comes from?
It shows that it comes from just like one of those 543 or 43210 numbers. So it's like a lot of the texts do. It doesn't come through from your cell or anything like that, or your office number, which that'd be great if it did. It does. That's the only drawback I would say. But a lot, we get those kind of texts all the time. So it's something. A lot of times it's your electric bill being paid or saying you owe some money or whatever. So
CVS pharmacy or
something. Yeah. I don't get junk mail that comes across there. It's typically something that's kind of important. So
and at the end, as soon as I hit, they pay, boom, it sends them a text. Hey, thanks for here. Send me, leave me a 5-star Google review. Sends the link. All that was right there. So, and if I don't get a Google review, I'll go back in there and send it again. So next thing I know, that I'm getting a review. So
and then sometimes, and if it's somebody that says they're going to leave one, if they don't leave one after 3 times, I call them up. Man, I really was counting on that review. Can you help me out?
See, I'd be so nervous that I'd get like a 2 or 3 star. Then dude wouldn't leave me the hell alone. So here's this damn review.
If you got that good rapport with that customer, they're there. They've been busy. Right. You know what? I hear that all the time. Anytime I hear it all the time. Man, I'm sorry. I've just been so busy. I forgot. I'm going to send it to you right now. Okay. Can you do it now? I'll get it taken care of.
Well, you got a lot of them, like especially the older generation that they don't, because you got to sign into Google.
So if they don't have Google, I think
they don't have it. Anyway.
But, and I've also been told that if you send them at night, like around 7, 8 o'clock when somebody's at home, and that's usually when they're playing on their phone anyway, you're more liable to get that review. But it ain't worked for me. I've just heard it.
I'll tell you one thing. When my wife, I don't know, it's probably about 6 years ago, and then we'll go into the wine talking because she's got the coolest job, however.
Yes.
But one thing I think that she brought on was she wouldn't call people and try to close deals. She would text them. And everybody responds to a text. Yeah. And I would say we picked up, 90% of our business increased because of texting and not calling. Because they can ignore the call. You can leave a voicemail, they're not going to call you back. But texting while they're at work, I'll see you tonight. Or can I schedule it for next Monday? So, texting has worked out a lot. So.
Kevin Bird said, define older generation.
There you go, Josh. Go to Dapper Dick Repair. Hook it up. Define older generation. You, Kevin, you.
Yeah.
Flip phone.
Hey, but to leave Ginger Bros a review, go to Apple Podcasts. Leave us a review on there. We need reviews on there. We've been asking for them, but nobody's been doing it.
Yeah.
Besides me. I think I left one review.
It's
anyway,
funny.
so
you can go to PDR Interviews and leave a review, but I wouldn't even know what to do because I don't think it even has one, and it's not the purpose of it. It's the purpose is for us, but you guys, you go for fame.
Well, no, it's not on. We don't ask for it for Facebook. It's on Apple because there's benefits to the more reviews you get. There's benefits to this podcast stuff down the road, hopefully.
Right.
But it all depends on how many subscribers you have and everything else. And, just like TikTok, once you get so many followers, then you're able to do live stuff. And then the same thing with Facebook Reels and all this kind of, there's a lot of crap out there that,
yeah, there is.
It's hard to keep up with it all. But anyway, let's get into the wine country.
Yeah.
Because you're tired of hearing me whine.
No, I want to hear you whine more about wine.
So I tell you what, we are so blessed because Missouri, I know people think California for wines, and Oregon and Washington, but Missouri is the first AVA, which is like the Agricultural Vineyards Association in the United States. We have cellars and wineries go back into the 1850s. Wow. And we have if anybody ever wants to come to St. Louis, or if there's ever a storm or anything, I'm sure that we'll do a big, party out at the wineries. Oh, there's my beautiful wife, man.
Just in time. Somebody say wine?
That's great. I didn't know she was watching. So she seriously probably just got home. That girl works 60, 65 hours a week. And but listen, this is Augusta, Missouri. The man and woman that my wife works for are the Hoffman family. They are some neat people. I've got to meet them a few times. She sees them all the time, but they're really neat people, and they've changed this little town of 300-400 homes or people population. It has 5 wineries. They purchased 4 of them, and we became friends with everybody. And a lot of one of my hobbies is just interviewing people and getting to know people. And one thing, I haven't been big on PDR interviews because I want to do more. I want to do more 10-minute videos when I go to visit people. But I've had the opportunity. What if she just got home and wanted to see your handsome face? You see it, baby. Yeah.
Y'all get a room.
I got a room, baby. Let's go.
And 6 Airbnb.
Yes. Anyway, I've been able to get out last year. I got held up the last few months, of course, from being sick, but I've been able to get out and interview the wineries, and I'm getting in with the winemakers, and we've done interviews in cellars. Harvest time. We got to write up on the big thing, and it collected all the grapes, and just everything's fantastic. And that's on a YouTube page. And I think I have 12 or 13 interviews. I have another interview it's an amazing love story that I'm working on right now with another one of the vineyards. Her husband passed away last year. And it's a whole story of their love for one another. And the family's running the business. It's the only one that didn't sell out. It's a neat story. And we have a neat community. But if anybody wants to come to, St. Louis, and you guys want to come out to the wineries, I will, man, I'll tell you what, I'll treat you. I'll get you a little back underground pass to all the cellars and stuff. This PDR
not raisins.
I don't know what that means.
I don't either. I was hoping you did.
I don't know what that means. Anyway, so it's a beautiful thing. I mean, the buildings are amazing. My wife works for them and runs this place called the Guffs Emporium, and it's beautiful. If you could walk back in the Norman Rockwell times, or you could walk down the grapes, okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, I think she's meaning this is a PDR show, not
it's about
grapes. Talking about grape. No, we're talking about grape.
Oh, anyway, it's a beautiful area. If you guys ever have time to come to St. Louis, I will give you a little private tour through the cellars and the wineries. And Fred's done it. Robert Castillo's done it. Ryan's done it. Rodney's a regular. Anytime he can, he comes over and stays. Yeah, heck, he just came up there for 2 weeks.
Yeah, he's just there, wasn't he?
Another shout out to Skip Phipps too. He came and seen me maybe last month. And I really appreciated it. He came in, just kind of seen me and prayed with me, and as I was recovering. So we have some amazing guys. You guys are amazing guys. Just everybody, just man. Well, Josh Roberts, I would love to have you. Country here in New York.
You should come to New York.
Oh, I would love to do that.
Month.
Yeah, I would love to do that. Absolutely.
See him, and he works
just buy me just buy me a ticket. I'll be on my way right now.
All right.
He's single. He'll take you up there.
There you go. So anyway,
we already talked about the PDR world.
We're go back and rewatch it later, baby.
Yeah, we're talking about you now.
Right. So she runs this little store, and it's called the Guffs Emporium. It's 160 years old store. It's all wood floors. Back in the day, a building blew up, or not the building that blew up. Some robbers came in and blew up the safe. There's a big hunk out of the ceiling from where the door got blown off. I mean, there's just the coolest history here. There was a brothel down on the riverfront where the paddle boats would come up and all the guys get up and have a little fun. And but then the flood, one of the great floods, moved the water all the way out. So the brothel kind of closed down, but it's got 2 cellars underneath it. Now they're turning it into a hostel. And a hostel is where people on the bicycle path right there on the Katy Trail, they can take their bicycle trails and they can actually stop and spend the night. So, may the force be with you.
Man, I was wanting to say that so bad earlier, and I totally forgot. Thank you for saying
She
that.
got you.
May the force be with you. I love it.
So,
I love it.
Anyway, okay.
But everybody go. What is the YouTube channel?
Oh, the YouTube site is STL space Spotlight. Just STL Spotlight for St. Louis Spotlight. And the goal was when I had Dent Squad, the goal was to go out and start interviewing just like we've done on PDR. And then say it was brought to you by Dent Squad. So I'd get that in circulation. Yeah. And so you'll see that on a few of them. And then I kind of just never did it with the rest of them. So,
yeah. No, I liked watching them, especially in the beginning when you were showing like the different buildings and all that they were turning into a different type of store or storefront and stuff like that. It's like these old little houses everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it just looks like a cool little town. I'd love to.
It's so cool because they haven't tore anything down. They've rebuilt everything. One little barn, and I talked to some of the construction workers and they're like, these people, man, they got so much money. They're making us refurbish the wood that came off of it. They're like resanding it down, restripping it, all that, and reusing it on the same building.
Wow.
They wanted to keep everything as original as possible. Now they've livened it all up with some more pastel, livelier colors, and I didn't like it. I'll be honest, I didn't like it in the beginning, but it's brought so much life. And if you get anybody ever wants to get away, it's Augusta, Missouri. And we live right there. And I tell you what, it's just, we're 10 minutes from the downtown Augusta, and downtown, like really big,
that's awesome,
big deal. But it's cool. We have horseback ride. They're horseback riding. There's carriage rides. There's gator rides. You can take a gator tour through the vineyards and take them under the cellars and hear the whole tour, of everything. It's just,
won't invite you.
No, John. God,
I had to get that.
They have little saddles on them.
Yeah. They muzzle them.
Oh man.
But yeah, well, that's it in a nutshell.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I want to come up there, and I want to come see you. Just gotta eventually make it happen. Once I get one kid kicked out, and anyway. Well, hey, we're at hour 14 minutes, so
flew by. Randy talked the whole time.
Sorry, guys.
It was no, we loved it.
I loved it.
Yeah. Thank you.
So
a lot of fun. Oh, yeah. And again, guys, I really, really, really appreciate everything that you guys do.
Well, we appreciate everything you do, brother.
Yeah, thanks for you and Kevin to talking us into it.
Hey,
because we were standoffish at the beginning, and we've kind of hit our groove. We're still a bunch of bumbling idiots, but I mean, it's fun.
Oh yeah, we have a blast.
Yeah.
That's what everybody that we, before we have people on the show, we'll be like, hey, you want to come on? They're like, and we're like, they're like, what do we talk about? I was like, we just shoot the shit like we're doing right now. Like, that's all we do. Yeah. There's no agenda. There's no script. We just talk.
Yep. So, yeah. Hey, we appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's definitely an honor interviewing you.
Yeah, for sure.
I know there's so much. I know there's so much that we could talk about and just go on forever, but
I'll spend a 4-hour show easy.
Yeah. I've thought about doing some little
like your wife's making fun of art.
Online seminars, and I've talked to Paul Corden about it too, and he's just a wealth of knowledge.
Oh yeah,
so, for sure.
And I keep telling him we're going to do something, and so maybe down the road we'll get something together like that. So you never know.
Well, speaking of Paul Corden, that'll lead us off into our guest for next week is Noah Herbert, who is owner of DentOps. Paul Corden talked about it at MTE a lot, and this guy will take your estimates, your Mobile Tech RX estimates, scrub them into a CCC estimate, and it looks better for the insurance. The adjusters, they know how to read that better. They'll try to find you more money if there's something you missed on R&I or something like that. So we'll have that guy on next week, and he'll be a great one.
Yeah. Definitely, we'll talk about it and get to know him. So
yeah, that's a huge asset too for anybody that's doing hail because, he can really bring a lot more money to the table for it. So
for sure,
yeah.
And it's not just the hail side. I mean, us trying to get I was fighting with doing a normal dent repair insurance job, and the first adjuster I talked to, he's he lowballed it, half of it, and only raised it up $154 more. And talking to him, it's his opinion that conventional repair would be the best route. And I'm like, so why? Why are you, thinking this way? Well, it's just my opinion. Okay, well, that's not a good answer.
No.
Is it because you've had a bad experience with paintless dent repair? No, that's not it. Was it because I'm at $1,690 and you're at $800 and something? No, that's not it. Then it's just your opinion. Yes. Well, the paint's not damaged. Well, I feel it will be. Well, it won't be. Right. That's your opinion. So I'll resubmit the supplement. We'll go ahead and do that. And then the next adjuster that calls the next morning is like, hey, you're calling about this. I'm like, okay, where are you at on the price? He's like, can you get it all out? 100%. He said, I believe in what y'all do. And then wrote it up for $1,900. So
you gotta love that.
Yeah. But yeah, it'll but if I'd have sent that to Noah and he'd have scrubbed it and put it all in CCC and it was $2,000, I probably would have got that, or they would have gone back to my original and just approved it,
Yeah.
But it's definitely worth it. So
yeah, he's done an estimate for me yesterday for Farm Bureau and found an extra $300 and even put on there in the notes like more cost effective to replace the bedside, putting the lingo that the adjusters like to hear to make it easier for approval and stuff. So
yeah. That's going to be a great show. I can't wait to see
I like
that.
to talk to him. That's not our normal show to talk about that. Oh, for sure.
So yeah, and remember, go to dentreaper.com, get your glue, get your reaper rods, and
the reaper.
And
y'all check out
one more thing.
Sure.
And if you need help on a hailstorm running it, give me a shout.
Yep.
Call that man right there.
I'm hoping I get to make that phone call before this year.
I hope you are, Andy. I hope you do. You're a dude.
DentTrust USA.
We'll go for a cruise in the truck.
There we go. Yeah. I'll wear my hat. I'll get it on.
There you go.
I'm going to wear my hat for the next show. I'm going to have my hat on. So just watch
it.
Guys.
All right. Hey, again, appreciate you coming on. Appreciate everybody that's been watching, commenting, engaging in the show. We love y'all. Y'all keep doing this. Keep us going. And we'll see you next week. Randy, by the way, I'm going to put you in the back room. We'll say our goodbyes in just a minute.
Okay.
See you guys.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks for joining us this week on another episode of Ginger Bros. Don't forget to catch all past episodes on Apple Podcast, YouTube, or Facebook. You can follow us on all social media to get updates for each show and anything else we have going on. Please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts to help this show grow. See you next week.